If you are a dreamer, come in. If you are a dreamer, a wisher, a liar, a hoper, a prayer, a magic bean buyer, come sit by my fire, for we have some flax golden tales to spin. Come in, come in. Welcome to another poetry video. I'm Miss Molly, and that was a poem by Shel Silverstein. Not this kind of shell, this kind of shell. Shel Silverstein has written so many books, and he has turned on so many people onto what poetry could be. Have you ever read The Giving Tree? Have you ever read Where the Sidewalk Ends? The Missing Piece? And of course, A Light in the Attic. This is what I will be reading from today. But before I get into the itty-gritty, nitty-gritty meat of this poet, I want to talk a little bit more about Shel. Not this kind of Shel. And who he was. He actually started as a musician, see, and he went to school to study music, which is why when you hear his poems, they got a rhythm. And a lot of people think that poems have to rhyme and they have to be in time. A lot of his poems will do that. He does play with rhyme and he plays with rhythm, but not all do. However, you can hear a poem and you can still know that's Shel Silverstein. And that's because he was so goofy. He was silly and imaginative and creative, and he created this world that made it impossible to forget. I remember when I was small and your age, my parents would read me Shel Silverstein before bed, and I loved it. I couldn't get enough. And I think reading those silly poems all the time made me the silly person I am today. So I can't wait to share this with you. He started writing when he was 12 years old, and he never stopped. And now he's one of the most famous writers of all time, enjoyed by children and adults and everyone in between. He is the best. And not only does he have plenty of written works, but he's also an artist. A lot of his poems come with funny doodles. So when I'm reading today, I want you to look at the pictures. There might be a punchline in there. Time to put on your silly lenses and time to take off anything that might be keeping you down, because we're going to be reading some Shel Silverstein today, and you cannot do that with a frown. Hot dog. I have a hot dog for a pet, the only kind my folks would let me get. He does smell sort of bad, and yet he absolutely never gets the sofa wet. We have a butcher for a vet, the strangest vet you've ever met. Guess we're the weirdest family yet to have a hot dog for a pet. Who's a good dog? Can you sit? Good. Stay. Stay. Good. Can you roll over? Roll over. Roll over. Yeah, good dog. Yeah. The fly is in. The fly is in. The milk is in. The bottle is in. The fridge is in. The kitchen is in. The house is in the town. The flea is on the dog, is on the quilt, is on the bed, is on the carpet, is on the floor, is on the ground. The worm is under the ground, is under the grass, is under the blanket, is under the diaper, is under the baby, is under the tree. The bee is bothering the puppy, is bothering the dog, is bothering the cat, is bothering the baby, is bothering mama, is bothering me. Ooh. It all started with you. Wild strawberries. Are wild strawberries really wild? Will they scratch an adult? Will they snap at a child? Should you pet them or let them run free where they roam? Could they ever relax in a steam-heated home? Can they be trained not to growl at the guests? Will a litter box work? Or would they leave a mess? Can we make them a cowberry, herding the cows? Or maybe a muleberry, pulling the plows? Or maybe a huntberry, catching the grouse? Or maybe a watchberry, guarding the house? And though they may curl up at your feet, oh, so sweetly, can you ever feel that you trust them completely? Or should we make a pet out of something less scary, like the domestic prune or the imported cherry? Anyhow, you've been warned, and I will not be blamed if your wild strawberry cannot be tamed. Squishy touch. Everything King Midas touched turned to gold, the lucky fellow. Every single thing I touch turns to raspberry jello. Today I touched the kitchen wall. I went and punched my brother Paul. I tried to fix my bike last week. I kissed my mother on the cheek. I got into my overshoes. I tried to read the evening news. I sat down in the easy chair. I tried to comb my wavy hair. I took a dive into the sea. Would you like to shake hands with me? It's all the same to the clam. You may leave the clam on the ocean's floor. It's all the same to the clam. For 100,000 years or more, it's all the same to the clam. You may bury him deep in the mud and in the muck, or carry him around to bring you luck, or use him as a hockey puck. It's all the same to the clam. You may call him Jim, or Fred, or Nell. It's all the same to the clam. You may use an ashtray from his shell. It's all the same to the clam. You may take him riding in the train, or leave him sitting in the rain. You'll never hear the clam complain. It's all the same to the clam. Yes, the world may stop and the world may spin. It's all the same to the clam. And the sky may come a-fallin' in, and the same to the clam. And a man may sing his endless songs of wronging rights and righting wrongs. The clam just sits and gets along. It's all the same to the clam. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful spell I put you under with the poems of Shel. Now, I love his poems so much that I actually made a second video because I couldn't just choose a few poems. So, please stay tuned and watch part 2 of Shel Silverstein if you want to see more silly videos, more Miss Molly being silly, and a few surprises. Also, I am hosting a poetry contest. If you feel inspired by these poems, please email me to the email you see below. I will choose my favorite 5 poems and make silly videos of them. Your poem can be short, it can be long, it can be fat, it can be skinny, it could be itsy bitsy 3 words, it could be 100 words. It can rhyme, but it doesn't have to. It can have rhythm, but it doesn't have to have rhythm. It can be a haiku, a sonnet. It could be a story. It could be something you just notice, something you see. It could be about a person you know. Anything you want. It's all up to you. I'm looking for things that are fun to read, fun to hear, and would make really fun videos. So I want you to put your silly caps on, and I want you to let your imagination go wild. Remember, email me your poem by the end of this month, May 31st, and I will make you a video. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please watch part 2. Bye.